Let me ask you this straight up. How many times has lust, not love, but pure lust, pulled you off of track? See, I feel like it's one of those things that doesn't really get talked about in self-improvement. People either mention it in passing, or they'll actually endorse that kind of behavior. They'll make jokes about it, and they'll even go about telling you subtle ways that you can indulge in this thing. But if you look at history, I know it's a cliche line, but if you do look at history, kings, leaders, and even celebrities have become undone because they couldn't control their own desires. And that's the thing about lust. It feels harmless, but it can rob you of your focus, your productivity, relationships, and sometimes even your identity. I still struggle with it till this day. There's a lot of distractions around us. I'm not oblivious to that fact, and I'm sure you still struggle with it too. So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down how to avoid it, but not beat it. And you guys need to understand that this won't always be done perfectly. It's not overnight success, but rather it's a long process, and in this process, you're going to take your energy back for something bigger. First, let's get clear on what lust actually does to you. It shrinks your vision. Instead of chasing your goals, you're chasing instant gratification. And you'll find that instead of allowing yourself to be present with people, your mind shifts. Instead of building, you're just consuming. I used to catch myself in hours of isolation, watching, scrolling, fantasizing, and what would be left at the end of that? Guilt. But it wasn't just guilt, it was also wasted time. It wasn't even about morality at this point. It's all this wasted time, all this wasted potential, and you can probably recall a few times where you missed out on opportunities because you were distracted by lust. It would have been that girl that you didn't speak to because you made her up in your head. It would have been that project that you delayed because you were online the whole night. Those weekends where you either could have been networking or building yourself, you stayed stuck inside of your own loop. And we've seen it time and time again. Lust robs greatness from men and keeps them comfortable with being average. So how did I fight back from this? The first step was honesty. Just like anything else in self-improvement, you had to be honest. I had to tell myself that this wasn't harmless and that this is going to cost me. And I started treating it like any other destructive habit. Not with shame, not with self-hate, just responsibility. And one of the first changes I made was getting myself out of isolation. Because let's face it, lust really challenges you when you're alone in a dark room by yourself. It'll either be a phone or your laptop that will try to get to you. So I made it a point to spend more time with people, socialize, go out for a walk. Even if it were coffee, studying, whatever it was, I made a point in going outside. Because I felt whenever I was in motion, whenever I was doing something actively, especially with other people as well, lust loses its grip. And socially, it's a game changer because instead of chasing lust in isolation, you actually learn how to talk to people, how to make friends, what people don't like, what they do like, how to flirt. You learn all of these different social constructs, and naturally you feel like you're a stronger person, you feel like you're a more confident person. Now, none of this is about being perfect because trust me, you will fail. But failing isn't a sign to become complacent, it's about how you respond. And this is where a lot of people fail. They slip and then they spiral back into shame, and then shame drives them back into habits. Here's what worked for me, here's what happened when I slipped. I'd always ask myself, was I bored, stressed, lonely? And once I found the trigger, I could work on replacing it. If I was bored, I'd work out, write, or go for a walk. If I was lonely, I'd phone a friend or plan something with them. And if I was stressed, I'd write down my problems and face them instead of running from them. Lust in itself isn't the problem, it's the symptom. And when you can address this root cause, you get stronger every single time. And this brings me on to another point, practical precautions. Now, we all know the apps that trigger us, or tempt us rather, and we all know the accounts that trigger us as well. So the logical conclusion that you can come to is to unfollow them, right? I've seen a lot of people try to trick themselves into thinking that they can handle it, but you can't. You're not stronger than this. I had to put blockers on my phone at one point and go to bed earlier so I could set boundaries with some people. And here's what I realized. Those little barriers weren't weakness, but they were wisdom. It wasn't about restricting myself. It wasn't about being scared. It was just about protecting my energy. But when you finally do get past lust, when you finally do become consistent in avoiding it, the clarity, the motivation, the energy, all of that stuff, it comes back to you. You can actually look people in the eye without feeling ashamed. You start channeling all of this newfound energy into your goals, your ambitions, your fitness. My productivity skyrocketed as well. Instead of losing nights, I was creating, building, improving, and my social skills got better too. I wasn't nervous or awkward in the head because I was living in the moment. And the craziest part is about quiet confidence is that people notice it. They notice it, they respect it, they might not know what changed, but they like it. So just to round off the video, let me emphasize this again. Lust is a very real thing and you don't just beat it and you don't deal with it ever again. No, that's not the way it works. It's like training, you get stronger, you resist, but that temptation will always be there. And this is exactly why you need purpose. If you don't know what you're building towards, lust will feel a lot more powerful. But if you have dreams, goals, responsibilities, it's easier to say no because you have something worth fighting for. You have something that you can remember. So if you're stuck right now, here's what I want you to do. Number 1, admit that it's a problem. Don't reject it. Number 2, go outside, be more social, interact with people. Number 3, replace the habit with something a little bit more productive. Number 4, set boundaries for your environment. And number 5, most important of them all, is find a purpose, find something to build towards. Because if you don't control lust, it will control you and it will take more from you than you realize. Time, energy, opportunities, all of it. But if you do control it, you become dangerous, focused, productive, someone with the energy to lead, to build. So the next time you feel yourself being pulled into this cycle, ask yourself, am I going to waste another day? Am I going to fight to be the person who I want to become? Because at the end of the day, that's the real battle and that's the one worth winning. And yeah guys, that's been my little testimonial on lust, I suppose. Something that I'm still avoiding to this day, thankfully. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. And if you did, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and pass it on to a friend who you think will need it. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.